Okay, so the next idea that we wanted to talk about was associating with wealthy people and their mindset. So we not only connect with how wealthy people operate, but how they think as well. So, how do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I do. So sometimes when I'm dealing with customers, they are wealthy. Fortunately, they are because they have to pay me. Um, no, but wealthy people are down to earth just like anybody else. They are people just like anybody else. And successful people want to share what has made them successful. It's literally stepping into the space to allow yourself to be open to receive the information. And when you're chatting with people or talking with people, you just let them flow and you express your interest, and you'll be surprised how people will share their views on things and how their flow and how they make decisions, financial decisions. And I have discovered that a lot of those decisions that they make, they are simple decisions. They're not very
Mhm.
complex. They are decisions that we all make, but they make those decisions freely and without hesitation, without fear, and without worry. Is like, what shoes am I wearing today? You just pick a pair of shoes that you're wearing because those are the ones that you like, and those are the ones that's going to fulfill the image that you want. Same thing with finances and wealthy people. They make decisions because they know that's the right decision to make, execute, and go without hesitation.
Yeah, wealthy people, you'll see them. They'll lose $1 million one day, but then they don't worry about it because they're going to make 3 million the next. Like their mindset is so different around decision making, right? They make decisive decisions when they believe that it's going to manifest wealth. And if they decide that that wasn't the right decision, they're easily pivot and move and make a different decision.
Stick and move.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Caprita, on wealthy mindset and just listening to how wealthy people talk and operate?
It, I actually, I love it because even with working in my field, I end up talking like to the CEO or the CFOs of corporations. And as your husband was talking, I can remember when my kids were little, and the CEO of a company said he started off by, we were a broker dealer, and he would start in the trunk of his car. And what he told me was Florida has a prepaid plan. He said, sign up for this prepaid plan for college so it can pay for your son's college. Not that he couldn't afford college for his sons, but he's like, no, I'm gonna do the Florida prepaid so I can lock my money in now. And it's like those simple steps that they do with their money. It's
Yes.
and then it was like another one. I'll never forget when I was paying my student loans back. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on this plan. I'm only paying $78. He said, well, does that make sense? I'm like, well, yes, I think. He's like, no, because it's not. You're not even touching like the interest rate, or you're not doing anything. So
Right.
what's
You'll
seventy
never
eight
get it
dollars?
paid off.
Right? He said, you're just giving your money away, and I'm like, wow. But the third pointer, and the one I never forgot, was one of the broker dealers. This guy used to make at least 20, 30,000 a month, and he always told me, when you file your tax return, you either owe them 100 or they owe you $100. That's how that should work. You should never get a huge refund back from the IRS.
Right.
And I never forgot that, and I still
Mhm.
share it with
Yeah,
people today.
because that means they're holding on to your money all year long, and we get all excited about the refund because we go, "Oh, look what we can do with the refund."
Right.
But that's money that you could have had invested all year long.
Yes.
Small amounts. Every paycheck you could have went to savings instead of to taxes,
Correct. And it's like,
and it
it's
could have earned
they
interest.
have money. To me, they have money and they can do these things, but it's the little small things that they do to make their money grow. They don't eat out for lunch. I watch them. They don't eat out
Hmm.
for lunch. They bring their lunch. Or and it's a
Hmm.
sandwich and a yogurt. This is what they bring for lunch. So
Yeah, because they probably utilize a form of value-based budgeting. What do they value? They probably value their vacations. They probably fly to Greece and Europe and wherever, right?
right.
But are they going to spend that money on a frivolous take
Starbucks.
out food that's no good for you anyway, not good for your health or whatever. No, they're putting their money into things that are either going to generate more income for them or things that they enjoy or, that are pleasurable to them. And then other small areas like, eating out, it's like, we'll do that on occasion, but not something they do on a regular. So
Right.
excellent points. I love that. That is great information. And Fiona said, yes, we are fearful, and sometimes we just want to hang on to what little we have, not realizing that putting that money into investments will help grow the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we do hesitate sometimes. Sometimes we do have to take smart risks, right? But we have to put money out there and see, and you have a threshold. I do dabble in some stocks, but they're usually stocks of companies that are in the Fortune 500 company, and I watch them and I decide I'm willing to make so much money on it, but if it drops below this, I'm out. Right? So that means whatever I made, I at least preserve that amount, and then go and do it again. D from Rialto. Hi, D. So, Paula, what are some things that you have learned about watching wealthy people and looking at how they think and operate?
Number one, wealthy people mind their business.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that again in case anybody missed it. Wealthy people mind their business.
Yes.
And when I say they mind their business, they don't take their money, they're frugal. They don't spend money frivolously. You
Right.
don't see them with designer labels plastered all over their bodies.
Yes.
You do not see them going on fancy trips and knowing that they can't afford it.
Yes. You know what? The thing that I think people miss is a lot of time they assume people that are in the limelight are so wealthy. But I've heard stories of them going bankrupt like that. That's
Yes.
not what we're talking about. We're talking about that wealth with people that are quiet,
That
silent wealth
mindset.
people. I have a lot of people that I work with and I encounter, and I know that no one would anticipate that they're millionaires or multimillionaires. They're very quiet and very humble about their assets, but they are extremely wealthy and they make very frugal decisions, and most of them have very little to no debt. If they have debt, it's because a company has the debt, that a company they own has the debt. So if that company goes bankrupt, that affects the company. That doesn't affect them. So their corporation has debt, but not them. They have very little debt. They may have debt on their home, their property, but then the equity in their property more than makes up for that. Credit card stuff, no, those things are paid off why would they pay 20% or 14% in interest when they're trying to earn 15% on this investments, right? So they're not going to turn around and take that investment money that they made and pay it on interest on some credit card. Now, there's a lot of people that appear wealthy because they got the bling, they got all the shiny toys, they have all the cars and things like that. But if you look at their balance sheet, it may not be what we think it is once you get the liabilities against the assets.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about really wealthy people. Paula is referring to people that have like that old money, like it's been in the family for years, and
Yes.
they have no need to have debt. But how can that make us think differently? We don't need to feel bad about making frugal decisions because that's what rich people do. Yes.
They're frugal, yes. And
Yep.
one of the things I wanted to add on that is money talks and wealth whispers. When
Oh,
money talks and wealth whispers,
Yes.
you don't have to walk around plastered with designer labels so that you could tell me that you're wealthy. It does not signify the level of wealth, because a lot of folks are running around with designer labels and in actuality, they are broke.
Yeah.
You do not wear your assets on your assets, right? There's a
I
thing
love
called
that.
there's a thing called liability, and if you look at the word liability, it's liar. You are
Yeah.
a liar claiming that you have wealth, and in actuality, you don't have wealth. You have debts.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think we need to look at the big picture when we are trying to make that assessment and shift our mindset of how wealthy people think. Wealthy people, and you know what, they associate themselves with other wealthy people, and they check the boxes. So what are you doing? Where are you investing? And they share information
They
on how
sure
they
do.
become wealthy.
Yes.
They
Yes.
talk
Yes.
to each other.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, they talk to each other. They want to know, hey, what are you investing in? Are you investing in Microsoft? What does Microsoft stocks look like? They go on the golf course. I love golf. They go on the golf course and they cut business deals. That's
Yes.
what the wealthy people do. But while they're cutting deals, they making sure they stay within, continue to mind their business while they're cutting deals and steals.
Yes.
I mean,
It's true.
Yes. Minding your business. I have said this many, many, many times. I said, look, guys, I have worked for some really wealthy companies. I worked for a company called Coke Industries. I said, and they pay people millions of dollars in totality, right? To run their operation, to mind their business, to keep up with
yes,
their numbers. Where are we? Where do we stand? And so that means we should do the same with our finances. Every month, at the
yes,
end of the month, I encourage all cash stuffers, add up your cash, see how much money you have in all of your binders. And if it gets too high, get that money to the bank.